So far in 2023, we've only had one Nintendo Direct that's happened this year, and it's been earlier in the year in February, and that was a Nintendo Direct that revealed some pretty interesting things, but it wasn't really anything insane. In fact, it opened up with a brand new trailer for Pikmin 4, which was a game that we already knew about. It's going to be coming out in just a few months, and then it ended with a brand new trailer for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which already came out. Besides that, there weren't really a lot of crazy brand new announcements that were inside of this Nintendo Direct, as it was mainly just for stuff that we already knew about, like Mario Kart DLC, Splatoon DLC, and then also the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, and really just new things that got announced were basically just kind of remasters, like the Metroid Prime remaster, which got shadow dropped inside of that Nintendo Direct, and then also one of the actual new games that was announced in there was that brand new Professor Layton game. And since then, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has released, and people are kind of just wondering what else Nintendo might have planned for the rest of the year, because right now the only thing that we have is Pikmin 4, which is going to be coming out in July, and then some other DLC for stuff like Mario Kart and Splatoon and Pokemon and things like that, but we have no idea what else Nintendo really has planned, so a lot of people are wondering if we could finally be getting a Nintendo Direct pretty soon, which could show off some new games. Now, originally this year, we were supposed to have an E3 that was going to happen next month in June, and of course, if Nintendo showed up there, we would have had a big June Nintendo Direct, like how they pretty much always had at E3, and we would have been able to see a lot of crazy new announcements and stuff that they always do. But because E3 got canceled this year and pretty much a lot of companies aren't showing up, a lot of people are wondering now if Nintendo is going to be planning on doing some type of summer direct or summer presentation, and according to rumors, it looks like that isn't going to happen. Honestly, this doesn't really surprise me because Nintendo even said that the reason that they weren't attending E3 this year was because they had a lighter schedule and they felt that they didn't really have enough stuff to show if they did come to E3. And last year even, we didn't have an E3 presentation from Nintendo either, but I would argue that last year we actually had so many big games that were coming out for the Nintendo Switch that they could have easily had a summer Nintendo Direct that could have happened in June last year, where they showed off some stuff about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Splatoon 3, Bayonetta 3. There was a lot of stuff coming out last year to the point where they could have definitely had a summer Nintendo Direct, but they didn't have one last year either. In fact, we had something that was one of those Nintendo Direct mini partner showcases, which it wasn't really all that bad because they did have some cool things in there. They got to see some stuff with Sonic Frontiers. We got the Persona games, which got announced to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. So Persona 3, 4, and 5 got announced to come to the Switch there. They also showed off Mario plus Rabbids and Sparks of Hope and all of that. And then also, I think Nier Automata got announced for the Nintendo Switch too. So that partner showcase was pretty cool when it comes to third-party stuff, but we still didn't have any type of mainline Nintendo Direct. But now rumors are surfacing again that it could be possible that Nintendo does have another Nintendo Direct still planned, so I do want to talk about this with you guys and give you guys my thoughts. Alright, so if we take a look at this article here from Go Nintendo, it says here, rumor Nintendo to have additional digital showcase this year. And if we scroll down here, it says, earlier this year, we learned that E3 was once again cancelled after hearing many big names, including Nintendo, weren't attending. This was disappointing news for many, as Nintendo always held a great direct for the event. Last year, after a similar E3 cancellation, we never got a full-fledged direct, only a partner showcase. Because of this, many are wondering if Nintendo will have a direct during this year's E3 timeframe. According to Ethan Gatch of Kotaku, Nintendo is planning on having a digital showcase sometime this year. While the this year portion is a little vague, with how close it is to E3 season, it seems likely that we could be getting a presentation pretty soon. This could be backed up by the second part of his tweet, which says to expect some more news from him coming in weeks and months. So I guess this was the tweet right here where he said here, sources are telling me that both PlayStation and Nintendo will have additional digital showcases this year. Keep your eyes tuned to this channel and watch this space for more developments in the coming weeks and months. Now, if you guys want my honest thoughts about this, I actually don't think that we are going to be seeing a mainline Nintendo Direct very soon. I really don't think that they're going to have anything around E3 time to have a mainline Direct. I'd love to be wrong, and if they do announce an actual mainline 40-minute big Nintendo Direct to happen in June, I will gladly be wrong and just, watch it and have a lot of fun, but I just don't think that they're going to do that, especially because last year they already had so many big games to do a mainline direct, and even with all of those games coming out, they still didn't do one. So I really don't think that with just having Pikmin 4 and potentially some other smaller things that they might have coming, that they're going to have like an actual big mainline direct to happen in June. I do think, however, we are going to be seeing another Nintendo Direct that's going to be happening in September. If you guys don't know, ever since the Nintendo Switch came out in 2017, we've pretty much always had a September Nintendo Direct every single year since then. We had one in 2017, we had one in 2018, also in 2019. 2020 was the only year because that was like the year that was a little kind of weird because of COVID and everything, and Nintendo just didn't have an entire mainline direct at all that entire year, but we still did have a partner showcase which happened for September, so you had that. And then of course back with 2021, September Directs returned. 2022 we had one last year, so if anything it would be more surprising if they don't have a September Direct this year. So I definitely think that the other digital showcase that they're talking about is probably referring to that September Direct, which is going to happen later in the year. Now, regardless of when the next Nintendo Direct does happen, there is one thing that I find really important about this next Nintendo Direct whenever it happens, and that's that it's really going to give us a big kind of idea for what Nintendo's plans are for the Nintendo Switch and what it's going to be like moving forward. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm sure you've heard the rumors that there's going to be a Switch 2 or like a next generation Nintendo system that's going to be coming out next year, and a lot of people have been talking about that. If we take a look right here, this was something that was posted very early into the year, back in January, and it says here, according to rumors that are intensifying by the day, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is one of Nintendo's final big games for the Nintendo Switch, and now most development teams are focused on the successor. We think that this is very likely true. Just like the 3DS on its final years, we will start seeing more remasters, remakes, and smaller franchises this and next year on the Switch as the transition to the next platform begins internally. Also a reminder that this is specifically for Nintendo's internal development teams, and Game Freak / anything Pokemon is not one of them, though we believe / predict that there's only one more main series Pokemon game left to be released for the Nintendo Switch. So basically the important thing from all of this is that it seems like Nintendo's internal development teams are pretty much done now with the current Nintendo Switch after Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and they're now going to be making games for the next generation Nintendo system or the Switch 2. And because of that, now we're going to start to see more like remasters and remakes of like older games start to come for the Nintendo Switch. And I feel like this is a very important thing to remember now going into the next Nintendo Direct, because if that next Nintendo Direct happens and we do start to see like more remasters for older games and remakes of older games coming to the Switch, then that definitely adds some more credibility now to all of this happening about the next generation Switch coming out next year. In fact, one of the biggest things that's rumored is supposedly like a Fire Emblem 4 remake, which is going to happen for the Switch. And apparently even looking through like Fire Emblem Engage's code, people were saying that there was like a missing game, which is alluding to the fact that there is going to be like a Fire Emblem 4 Genealogy of the Holy War remake, which is going to be coming for the Switch. So that would once again be like a remake of an older game and more types of like remasters and things like that. If we do start to see that coming in the next Nintendo Direct, then it could definitely mean that there are kind of starting to slow down stuff for the current Switch, and there is going to be a next generation system coming out next year. Now, alternatively, if that next Nintendo Direct happens and Nintendo's like, here's a brand new 3D Mario, here's a new Donkey Kong, here's a new F-Zero, here's a new Star Fox, here's a new Kid Icarus, and they just announce all these other big new games that are made from the ground up for the Nintendo Switch, then it's going to be like, okay, wait a minute, maybe they still do have more stuff planned for this current Switch, and we are actually going to be having the Switch go for a longer time, and maybe the Switch 2 is a little bit further away. So I do feel like this next Nintendo Direct is going to be pretty important in giving us like a good kind of idea for what they are planning for the future. But yeah, it should be interesting to see whenever this next Nintendo Direct does happen and what Nintendo has to announce. If you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel, as well as I am going to be having more Nintendo videos very soon. But also let me know how you guys feel about this in the comment section down below. Do you guys think that Nintendo is going to be having a more lighter kind of schedule now in terms of releases, and we're going to be seeing more things now with like remasters and remakes and stuff? Or do you think that there's still going to be a lot of other big games still coming out for this current Nintendo Switch? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.